Whenever I engage with dog lovers, their thinking process always fascinates me. To me and many others, it's a no-brainer. If something exists in the community which is totally unnecessary and is harming millions of people every year, it should be banned, or at the very least, strictly regulated in order to reduce or eliminate risk to humans. Mosquitoes and rats spread disease, so what do? We drive them out of our homes and communities. We get rid of them, or we try to. Bears or wolves that lose their fear of humans are killed when they venture into our communities. If it were any other animal spreading disease and attacking millions of people every year in our communities, we would all agree to cull them and get them out of our communities. But instead of recognizing dogs as the very real threat they are to our health and safety, we worship them. We call them man's best friend and say they are even better than humans. We view anyone who doesn't like them as an unloving monster. We make memes that say, "If you don't like dogs, I don't like you." We expect everyone to love being around dogs. We shun, ridicule, bully, and attack those who object to the presence of dogs. Instead of having empathy for human victims of dog attacks, dog lovers defend dogs at all costs and seem to value dog life over human life. They often vilify humans. They blame the victims of dog attacks, or they blame the dog's owner. They insist it is somehow the human's fault. They cling to the notion that dogs are pure, love unconditionally, and that there are no bad dogs, only bad owners, and it's all how you raise them. But when you point them to reports of well-trained, sweet family dogs that were raised with love and have never shown any aggression for years, and you tell them how these dogs are still launching unprovoked attacks every single day on innocent people, usually children, these people, first of all, don't seem to care or have any empathy for the victims, and secondly, they don't listen to what you're saying. It's as if they have some sort of mental filter that prevents them from taking in the information. They deny reality, and they deny it viciously, often becoming very hostile. They become hostile because they are defending their core beliefs. Core beliefs are a series of thoughts that are thought many times and become automatic in an individual. A core belief is something that you believe to be true and gather evidence for while denying the evidence against it. That denial then triggers defense mechanisms such as attacking the person providing the evidence against the belief. When you provide clear evidence against their core beliefs, they attack you. They make you into the non-truth speaker, the villain. This is a defense mechanism to keep the core belief intact. A dead giveaway that they are in denial is the emotion behind their words. They don't simply say, "Oh, I don't think that's true, and here's why." No, they immediately begin to attack your character. They sling insults and speak to you with a disrespectful tone. They bully you, they laugh at you, they call you names. They try to hurt you in any way they can, to get under your skin and to discredit you or to make you appear crazy. They want to rile you up so that you will get emotional. And then they try to make you appear crazy because that is the only way they can keep their core belief intact. There is a disproportionate overreaction in these people. If you criticize a specific breed of dog, they react as though you murdered their entire family. They act as if they are the aggrieved party, while showing zero compassion for the actual victims whose lives are utterly ruined and drastically changed forever. They display unimaginable insensitivity by posting pictures of their dogs in comment sections on articles about dog attacks, showing no respect whatsoever for the victims, saying, "Look at my sweet dog. Does this dog look vicious to you?" As though dogs that attack people look vicious 24/7. They'll even go so far as to wish you dead for simply suggesting we regulate dog ownership or ban certain breeds. When you block these toxic people out of self-respect, they then call you a coward, as though you should just sit there and take their abuse forever. This is not the reaction of a person who is interested in arriving at the truth. This is the reaction of a person who is only interested in defending their position at all costs out of fear. This is fearful behavior. Taking the time to make and upload videos just to diss, ridicule, or trash talk people who hold opposing views only shows that you are immature and have no solid argument. They know their arguments are weak, so they make it personal. The discussion, which should be about ideas, becomes personal in nature, and instead of attacking the opposing argument, they attack the person, because they hope proving the other person stupid or crazy will invalidate that person's argument. This is called an ad hominem attack. When you are confident of your arguments, you do not feel a need to engage in ad hominem attacks. You might disagree with their ideas, but an intelligent person with strong arguments who is confident in their position does not resort to hurtful ad hominem attacks. Instead of tearing others down personally, they spend time promoting their own ideas. If all of their energy is spent in trying to tear others down, it only shows they have very weak arguments. I also want to add that anyone with self-respect will not tolerate abuse and will block people who are toxic. Dog lovers will usually refuse to even read reports of dog attacks. They immediately dismiss the reports as inaccurate somehow. They'll come up with all kinds of excuses for the dogs. They'll say you have a higher chance of being killed by humans, as if getting rid of humans as a precaution is even an option when we are social animals who need one another to survive. They'll say more people are killed by toy balloons than by dogs, as if someone else's balloon will dig under the fence or run across the street to kill you for having the audacity to step out of your vehicle or rake the leaves in your yard. Besides, it's not even true that balloons kill more people every year. See the link in the description. They will say things like, you have a greater chance of dying from a coconut falling on your head, when this, quote, fact is based on a figure that a travel insurance company pulled out of thin air over a decade ago. The actual number of coconut-related deaths per year is likely in the single digits, while dogs kill 60,000 worldwide via rabies infections alone. Dog lovers will only talk about deaths. They don't acknowledge the many, many more cases of people needing medical care and reconstructive surgery for their wounds. They don't address the huge numbers of people who are disfigured for life and traumatized by dog attacks. They only offer excuses for the dog or deflections so they can avoid acknowledging what is glaringly obvious. Dogs are doing horrific damage on a massive scale. And all dogs are unpredictable, no matter how they were raised. It's as if these people can't even conceive of this as a possibility. They always insist the dogs were mistreated in some way, or that the victim provoked the dog somehow, or that the owners were in some way negligent. They never have a shred of evidence for these claims, though. Even though the family, friends, neighbors, police, and witnesses all say the dog was well-trained and raised by loving, responsible owners, and that the attack was clearly unprovoked, dog lovers always insist it is never the dog's fault. In their minds, it's always the owner's fault. This is a lie, because dogs that were raised by loving, responsible owners are attacking people every single day for reasons as trivial as dropping a glass, sneezing, crying, having a seizure, exiting a vehicle, riding a bike, or going for a walk down the street. They often say things like, I've known plenty of pit bulls, and they were all the sweetest dogs, or my dog never attacked anyone, how do you explain that? I explain it by saying it's a game of Russian roulette, and you were lucky. It is morally deplorable for you to rely on personal anecdotal evidence while denying the experiences of millions of other people. It is great your dog never bit anyone, but really, who cares when nearly 5 million Americans are bitten every year? 800,000 Americans require medical treatment every year due to dog bites, and 28,000 are having plastic surgery every year due to dog attacks, just in the USA. Where's your empathy? Do you ever think of anyone but yourself? I have actually had dog lovers tell me, when I informed them 60,000 people are dying of rabies worldwide, and rabies infections that are transmitted by dogs 99% of the time. Someone told me, and I won't say who it was because I don't want to engage in an ad hominem attack, so I won't say her name, but she said to me, quote, "So let me get this straight. Now you are worried about rabies cases worldwide? Rabies cases in, let's say, Africa or Asia? Why? This affects you in some way? Are you afraid you may be walking down a dirt road in Africa one day and get mauled by a rabid dog? Be real. Why don't you concentrate on the stats for the country you live in? Oh, but wait, the numbers aren't that alarming." This showcases the selfishness of your average dog lover. They only care about themselves. If something is not affecting them personally, they have zero empathy or compassion. They are extremely cold-hearted and selfish, yet they maintain we are the unloving monsters for not liking dogs. Everything is backwards and upside down. We who care about humans and want to see an end to all this needless, senseless suffering have bigger hearts than they can ever dream of. Despite all the evidence staring them in the face, they still believe dogs are the greatest thing in the world and that having them around is therapeutic and good in every way. They simply refuse to see the truth. They can't handle it. They flip out. When you tell them pit bulls are implicated in nearly 3/4 of fatal attacks on children, and point them to the dogsbite.org website, they almost always insist that site is somehow biased or inaccurate. When you call for breed-specific legislation, or BSL, they become enraged and call you a racist. Racism only applies to humans. We are not talking about humans here. We are talking about animals. Animals like the pigs, cows, and turkeys they eat, which are just as sensitive and suffer the same way dogs do. Yet they will gladly pay farmers to torture and kill those animals. If you want to talk about an ism when it comes to animals, there is a term we should talk about called speciesism. Speciesism is defined as the assumption of human superiority leading to the exploitation of animals. Exploiting animals is not what we are about. Protecting yourself from animals that pose a threat to our health and safety is not exploitation. It is a natural and sensible reaction. It is an act of self-preservation. We wish to make our communities safer by eliminating the presence of dogs. And all dogs are unpredictable and can transmit disease. It makes no sense that people want to grant dogs the same rights as humans while not giving a second thought to the suffering of harmless animals they deem tasty. They often do this while mocking and laughing at those who wash their hands of the cruelty inherent in the meat, dairy, and egg industries while avoiding animal products. Talk about hypocrisy. Talk about irrational. We should not waste our time with these people. You cannot reason with them. They are emotionally invested in their position. They will dig their heels in. They will be relentless in their attacks, and you should just move on. The people that we can reach are those who, like I was, are on the fence. The people who don't have any strong feelings about this subject one way or the other. Those are the people who are going to be more open to seeing reason. So those are the ones we should focus on. Core beliefs are not easily dismantled. They are things to be chipped away at slowly. My videos will present the many facets of this dog problem and dismantle the many myths that exist and that are perpetuated by dog lovers. Please stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching.